What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you all my first S rank clear that I did on Dark Falz Solus yesterday. Now I'm going to be running this with a couple of my alliance mates from Night Arks, Korone, Yoko, which is Held at Time Chaos, and as well Professor M, Airi. These are some amazing players, and I'm glad that they decided to run this with me. They pretty much carried me. They're really good players. But along the way through the run, I'm going to do a little bit of commentary for you all and just kind of explain some of the mechanics and a little bit of my thought process on some of the stuff that was going on. Because this fight is quite difficult, and I just think that knowing a little bit of some of the mechanics is going to help you all hopefully get some clears of your own. Now, I totally wanted to upload this video yesterday and give you all this commentary and gameplay guide yesterday. But unfortunately, my internet was not working properly, so I just ended up calling it a night last night, went to sleep, and luckily I woke up this morning and the internet was working fine. So here we are. So I did want to mention, for anybody that is struggling to run this quest, I would say to try to have like octo armor that you get from running Lucille. Listen, if you don't have like a lot of gear right now, running Lucille is incredible, because running Lucille exploration, you get a hold of those LC capsules. And all of those LC capsules, when slapped onto the Octo armor, make you incredibly strong. And that's actually some of the gear that I'm rocking. I'll go ahead and show you all some of my gear and setup here real quick. And you can see that I have 158% range potency, which is quite a bit. I'll go ahead and show you my weapon that I was using is a Neos Astrian Katana Gunblade with Fixed Attack 5. And you can see I have a couple of the LC augments from Lucille. And as well, my armor, I'm using all three Octo armor. And they all three have the same exact augment. And you can see here on the screen, this is actually the food buff that I was using. I used this food here for Redum, the HP bonus. You can see that it gives me quite a bit of good stats, 9.2% potency, as well as 5% damage resistance, HP buff 5%, PP plus 10. And as well, in the middle there, the region match effect, the HP recovery is plus 50%. So every time I use one rest assign, I'm getting 50% more HP recovery out of it. So I'm actually conserving rest assigns, which allows me to be punished a little more and be able to heal more. And pretty much I'm trying to heal to full HP from just using one heal instead of having to use two. And I found that to be pretty helpful. It is, of course, a damage loss not having the weak point damage, but in the long run, I think for somebody just getting used to running the fight and everything, I think this is a smart choice. Okay, so here we go. So right in the very beginning of the fight, I want to mention in this cutscene, you can actually immediately start attacking it and going over to, we usually go over to the left hand in my parties. Pretty much the goal that we're going to have is we're going to go right to the back. We're going to try to break this piece here because a lot of us are using bouncer sub, and it's going to give that benefit from breaking destroyed pieces so that you'll do increased damage as well as you'll take decreased damage too. So not only are you going to be doing more damage, but you're also going to be more tanky too, which is always a good thing in a fight such as this. Pretty much the goal in the fight, I'm just going to try to make sure that I stay full HP. Now whenever you break this back piece, it also prevents it from doing as many of the little missile attacks, which can be good or bad, just because you can counter more, and more counters is always more DPS. So at this point, we've broken the back tail piece, and we're going to go ahead and start breaking these bombs. Now with the bombs, you can see like as we're attacking the bomb on the floor, the tile will light up. And whenever the tile, like, there's like a light that emanates from the inside of the bomb there, and it goes to the outside of the tile. And whenever it goes to the outside of the tile, then it's going to light that tile up with damage. And at that point, it's where you would want to counter. But pretty much you want to try to break these bombs as fast as possible, and it's going to open up the arms on Dark Falz Solus. And it's kind of like Dark Falz Loser from base PSO2, to where you're going to have to try to break his arms within like a certain time limit. And DPS is very important. And there we go again with the counters of the floor tile. I pretty much just try to stay full HP the whole time. Now, something else I do in this fight in particular is I use robust food, just because robust food allows you to have more HP heals off of your restas. So you can see that we've opened up the arm here because we destroyed all of the bombs, and now we're going to try to break this arm as fast as possible. And I also try to make sure that I counter that little, I don't know what you would call that attack there, but it's like the hallway AoE kind of thing or whatever. But if your party fails to break the arm as fast as possible, it will close up again, in which part you'll have to go back to destroying bombs again. And in that case, it's just one bomb. If you do fail the DPS check, it is just one bomb that you'll have to break to open the arm again. So it's not too bad, but it is a loss of time. Probably likely time out in the run, honestly, if it gets to that point. So DPS is pretty key. I think everybody in our fight here has somewhere between 140% potency all the way up to 160% potency. In this fight myself, I have 158% potency, so I'm pretty geared. And after the left arm breaks with the bombs, it pretty much repeats the cycle, and we're going back to trying to break bombs again for the right arm. You can see that little spike that's sticking out of the right forearm there too. That's like signifying like these bomb phases that we got going on here. Definitely a big thing that helps out a lot is having your camera panned out all the way so that you can actually see as much as possible from all the attacks coming in. Right here you can see I'm low HP, so I get punished for it. I should have healed faster, but unfortunately I lost a life there. Now we have the left arm open, and we're going to try to break it as fast as possible. Now once the final arm breaks, it's going to fall over and it'll have like a core exposed. It's kind of like a mini down phase. And there is also rustas that you can see that appear on the floor randomly after you start breaking pieces throughout the fight. And again, I'm using Bouncer as a subclass, so I have that benefit going from all these breakable bombs and all these breakable arm pieces and everything. Usually I try to save my photon blasts for when the actual break mode comes, just because it does so much more DPS. You can see I was holding on to it there for quite a while before I actually used it. So here it's going to actually go into a phase where it puts these pillars up, and the goal of this is kind of like the floor is lava. You do not want to touch that floor that's raising up down there, and you have to break both of these little pillars that are on the left and the right. You can see we kind of teamed up on it here, like 2 left, 2 right. Either way, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, if you all 4 attack 1 or 2 separately. It's just DPS is key. You have to do a lot of damage. And from here, a lot of the time I have seen where there's like a piece and he'll fall down and you would have like a core piece to break. But as you can see, we actually had enough DPS to where we just kind of skipped that portion. But in some of the other fights I've done before, it was much different. We actually had like a down phase. So this right here is a wall where you jump through or you walk through the openings in the wall. Now this wall will do a lot of damage. You can survive it. You'll see me get hit by it there. I got hit for like 835. It almost one-shot me. But you can see that I survived it. It's kind of like a throwback to Profound Darkness from base PSO2. And pretty much the goal of my party, we tried to break the bottom of this rod. You can see it'll place down the rod, so you have to be really aware and trying to stay full HP and counter these. Like as the rod hits the ground, usually there's a 360 AoE that pops out of it. Now, around the map, you will see randomly, you will see Rusta signs that get put down too. And you can see these floors that light up. You want to stay out of those, as well as avoiding the attacks of the squares. And then there's the rod again. There's a lot going on here. There's like a lot of panic weapon actioning and countering going on. It's quite a bit to keep track of. And just staying full HP is really a big thing. You can see every time I get hit, I try to usually just heal as fast as possible. I do believe this 360 rod slam attack that Dark Falz Solus is doing, I think you can actually jump over that. I don't think you have to actually counter it, but countering, of course, going to be extra DPS. Then you can see he also does like an outer circle square attack too, as well a large attack there. can see a lot of the times, because I'm just so new to this, I'm like spamming my weapon action, just kind of panicking to counter something, wondering when I'm going to be hit. Those little tracers that are coming off too is all going to be attacked, but I just kind of managed to avoid all of those. You could stand still and counter those for some extra DPS. Again, floors are lighting up. You don't want to stand on those or avoid the damage from them. It's kind of like Final Fantasy giving tells on where attack damage is going to come from. All these like purple areas, kind of like the red lines and stuff that was in Final Fantasy, right? But depending on your gear and setup and everything, you can see you can avoid a lot of this stuff. Now this pillar phase here is actually like a mechanic to stand behind the pillars to avoid these cubes and stuff. You can see I did a poor job here just because it's my first time getting this far, so I didn't really know what to do. But if you stand behind this pillar and you can just walk around it in a 360, as Falz throws all those little cubes out at you, and you'll avoid everything. You'll avoid all the damage, and then you just want to stand behind it where it's always shielding you from where he stands. You can see some more restas get placed onto the ground too, so keep an eye out for those. As you can see, I was low on heals. This is the furthest I had made it. This was the first time that I actually carried it, so I really wasn't familiar with running it yet. Hopefully some of this commentary and info here will help you all to get some clears too. You can see that the bottom of the staff was actually broke there, so we just needed to focus on the core at this point. I didn't actually realize that at first. I was still trying to go for that staff, but you can tell it had like the gold cluster like at the bottom of it was like cracked. And there's some more of those low profound darkness walls that you have to jump through. I like that they brought this mechanic back. I always thought this was kind of cool. You could see a lot of panic weapon actioning here from me just because I was low on HP and no heals. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't die to like fail the run or anything. My DPS is actually a lot lower right now than it normally would be if I had full HP, because I would be more like brazen, more ballsy, more aggressive. Hey, we got some rustas on the ground. Gonna grab those up. But we just ran right by them because there's walls coming. Oh, we managed to get one though. So here comes one more phase. Now this is another bomb phase. This was my first time seeing this, of course, too, and I was like, oh, what is going on? Well, just like, all right, so there's more bombs. You got to make sure that you watch the floors again as the light emanates from the bomb to the outer part, the piece of the tile. That's when it's going to light up and do the damage. So there's a lot to juggle. I was like so confused here. But basically, you just got to go around and try to break every bomb. It's more of a DPS check kind of thing going on here, really. You can see we split up a little bit. Ideally, having a ranger to follow the blight with is pretty nice for party direction. But the end goal is going to be to break every single bomb on the platform right now. And the whole time you're doing this, you have to, not only do you have to watch the floor tiles, you also have to watch and see what Dark Falz is doing too, so it's quite a bit to keep up with. Normally I would have saved my photon blast or something else, but I just wanted to break these bombs as fast as possible. And I'm also out of heals again too, so I was worried of dying. Now at this point you can see that Dark Falz gets stunned. Now I've heard that if you don't break this piece on the top of his head fast enough, that he'll actually start sending out pulses which can one-shot you. But we was lucky enough to just like have enough DPS to break that right away. And now you can see Falz is pretty much dead. We're just punishing him. It's game over. GG's. My first clear, you can see the rewards pop up. You can see my excitement in the chat. I'm like, woo! You can see we got 1350 on the clear time. Pretty good considering I was throwing a lot there, just trying to play it safe. And you can see I got a Neos Astrian Rod. So the rewards from this quest aren't exactly all that wonderful. So far I haven't heard of anybody getting anything really fantastic from the quest, but boy, it sure is fun. I really like running this a lot. And something cool is you get these vital rewards for your HP bars. The one for the Manon and one for Aina. You can see that Korone and Airi have theirs equipped there. So upon completing Dark Falz Solus, you actually get a couple of new vital cards. You can actually see down the bottom left, I have the Aina one equipped currently. Now the way that you would get these is if you open up your menu and you go to personal and then you go to vital gauge design, you can actually see them right here. There's one for Aina and one for Manon. You get both of these for clearing Dark Falz Solus for the first time. So it's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and equip the Manon one here too, so you can see what it looks like down there in the bottom left. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for the video. I'm curious, do you all like the new Dark Falz Solus fight? Also, did you find any of this commentary helpful? Let me know down in the comments below, please. Speaking of which, likes, comments, and subscribing is a free way that you can help my channel grow, reaching a larger audience. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a wonderful day, friends. See you in the next one.